Yo, alright, I'm not gonna come out.
A flashbang or something?
This shit is so fun!
The spice, whew. This shit's pretty bad. Like, I get frustrated going and playing PUBG, because, like, it's been a long time, but PUBG is light years ahead of this shit.
Those were just some clips I took from Chappie's stream when I was scrubbing through it yesterday and 2 days ago. This guy has given Tarkov some could say very constructive criticism. All he says really is through his entire stream is this game is so ghetto, which the first time hearing it was funny. It's so ghetto, dude. It's trash, and we're just going to go through maybe some clips of him giving actual criticism and just some funny moments and try to address them, because despite what he says and what people think, when you do learn the game, you can make the game play how you want to play it. So it doesn't have to be slow. If you're in factory, you know all the spawns, you can get some quick PvP fights in. Same could be said for customs, maybe, where you like clear one half of the map, then you go to kill Scab Boss, for example. But we're just gonna play clips by clips. Roll them.
So I thought my gun was shot.
That's cool, man. That's really good gunplay. Yeah.
You just die?
No, I'm not dead yet, but I'm about to be. Oh yeah, I can't move because this game's so fucking realistic. It's just so much. I'm gonna uninstall this shit. I can't even walk and aim my gun. My fucking...
Yes, that is a thing. If you were to get shot in the legs from a shotgun at about, maybe, what was that, 20 yards? Like some incredibly short range, was like a couple of trees away. And who knows, maybe he was using slug rounds as well, because ammo also matters. You'd have troubles. Let's go with it. Problems. You'd have problems walking, bud. I don't know. This is just amazing.
This shit's pretty bad. Like, I get frustrated going and playing PUBG, because, like, it's been a long time, but PUBG is light years ahead of this shit. And I think that game's clunky. Like, this is a whole nother level of
Factory again, or?
Comparing Escape from Tarkov to PUBG. I don't know, dude. Is this... Oh!
This shit is so fun!
I'm sorry I had to play that clip again. PUBG and Tarkov. Two completely different games. One's trying to be realistic. Some people say a realistic simulator. Or a military simulator, my bad. Other one, Battle Royale. Not so realistic, but... Not so realistic. That's hilarious. But this is coming from a guy who has went hunting since he was 14, 13.
I was in foster care when I was a kid, and I went hunting with my foster dad. Dude, I was more accurate as a child with a fucking rifle than this game. And you're a grown-ass man that's in the military. Like, this shit is a joke. I mean, see, that's where you're mistaken, though, Stealth. Because, like, I've done this shit in real life, and that's what you want to compare it to, right? Is real life. This shit is a joke.
He does have Battlestate Games and me in quite a tough pickle here, because hunting animals is exactly the same as trying to shoot other human beings with guns.
I don't know what you mean, like, by wonky. Like, it's not as smooth as COD, but it's not meant to be, you know what I mean? Like, it's meant to be slow.
What game mode are you guys running?
Yeah, but it could be slow and be a lot more fluid feeling. Like, it feels wonky as fuck. That's what I'm getting at. And then you couple that with shit performance. Like, the shit makes my eyes bleed. Like, I should honestly throw my monitor out the window, buy a 60 hertz monitor, and I would probably feel better. Like, the performance is terrible. I've got a lot of shit turned down. Like, that's frustrating. Some people don't give a fuck about performance, or maybe they are playing on a 60 hertz monitor, and it, like, doesn't bother them. I have a nice monitor.
He actually has a point here, guys. Tarkov just doesn't run that well. You can't run it in 144 FPS or however many frames you want, because it's not that optimized yet, I guess. Solid piece of criticism, actually, is the performance. But people have been hounding Battlestate Games for ages about performance. And it's just one of them things. I agree with him here.
And if any of you guys, like some of you guys say you've been playing this shit for years, it's the same way like when I played PUBG for as long as I did, people would be like, I just can't get into the movement in this game. And I used to like defend the game. But then I stopped playing it, came back to it, and was like, this game is whack. Like, you play it for so long, you get used to it, but that doesn't make it not whack. It's whack. Like, this shit feels so goofy.
Yes, the movement. Actually, what he's referring to is multiple times in his stream, he taps the run button, which is shift. And you do like this weird short stop, and your arm comes over your shoulder with the gun. And it does look whack. I'll agree with him, it does look whack when you do that. But that's something typically you don't do in real life, especially when you've got guns and armor on you. I tried to do it out of my chair to the kitchen door and back. And it is whack. Even in real life, it's whack. You're not meant to speed up and slow down and change velocities and speed up and slow down again. It's weird. It's weird in itself, and it looks weird. Now, could the animations to where your gun comes over your shoulder and you got a piece of your arm, and you can kind of look in your arm, like, yes, of course that could be improved, and I think that would be a solid bit of criticism there. But I think he just doesn't like the overall movement, which is fine, completely fine. Like, again, this game isn't for everybody, and this guy's just Chappie is scratching the surface of the game. And many Tarkov players, enthusiasts will tell you that you have to get into the game to fully experience it, and some would argue at that point fully criticize it. When you do get to that end game, when you have leveled your skills up, and when you do learn to mod guns, and when you do learn the spawns, it just changes the game. It becomes such a different game. And I'm sorry that he didn't get to experience it, but he does have like a counter argument for this. Roll it.
Okay, Bucky, there's not understanding the game, right? Which is one thing, and then there's the game is just actual dog shit, which is a completely another thing. So even if I learn the game, I learn every little thing about it, I'm still gonna have the same opinion about a lot of it. The game's dog shit. The movement's dog shit. The looting system's dog shit. The sound is dog shit. The performance is dog shit. So regardless of how good or bad you are at the game, how would that change any of that? It wouldn't.
Perhaps if he got to the end game, he might have a few different outtakes on some of his criticism, such as looting. We're going to dive into looting now, because everything else we've kind of picked apart already in this video. So in his stream, he was actually trying to loot scavs, for example, and take their mags out, and while he's still prone and in this menu state, try and check the ammo in the mags. Now, it's kind of like a second hand or a muscle memory type of skill that once you pick up a mag off a scav, or maybe even another player, you can kind of know if the mag is already full or not, which cuts, how long does it take to check a mag? It does take quite a while to check a mag, But again, if you played the game, if you got good at it, I don't want to say got good because it's not fair. He's only been playing this game only a day, if that. It was only a couple of hours. It was like 7 hours, wasn't it? But there's so much to learn. If that doesn't show that there's so much to learn and how deep this game can actually go, just like, it's like learning a map. Like, you can learn all the corners and this, that, the other. Sure, it doesn't change the performance, but it might change different outtakes or different criticisms you have on the game itself, such as looting. And I think the devs would ultimately enjoy that. Enjoy some good criticism, some good critical criticism, instead of saying it's just shit, I move wonky, the looting's shit, it's just long. Imagine if I could open up a backpack or these packs of mini cheddars and know exactly how many cheddars are in this, or open up like my wallet and see how much is in this. There's nothing. I already know there's nothing in there, but do you know what I mean? It's ridiculous. It's just getting salty because he's getting shit on. And everyone has to go through this process of getting shit on. It's just how Tarkov is. It's such an unforgiving game. And by the sounds of it so far, and looking through his stream, he's not looking for this type of paced game. He wants another PUBG or a COD or something like that. Something a bit more fast paced, so you can just hop in to another game and go. And I don't know why he played it for so long if this was such an issue.
The spice, whew.
I know it's pretty spicy, but I don't want to make this a half-an-hour video. It's already at 10 minutes, I think. 9 minutes 57, I think. But anyway, this isn't made with ill intent. I'm not trying to jab at Chappie or anything, but I do think someone has to speak up for, you know, Tarkov and give it. If you're going to give it criticism, give it quality criticism. Especially like if I was a developer and handing you a key, for example. I just don't want to hear this game shit, you know, etc., etc. I want to maybe get put in the right direction, you know. And yeah, I've seen you've apologized. You tweeted, I think you tweeted that you apologized, but I don't know if that was after the uproar or before, you know, before you dragged Tarkov through the mud, some would say. Yeah, I tried to put like a funny spin on it. Hopefully it doesn't get taken too seriously. And yeah, I might make after this, because of Chappie, like a beginner's series of Tarkov. Try and teach you guys how I learned Tarkov. Like, just to tell you real quick, I went into Factory and learned Factory. This was back in the day where you couldn't spawn scavs on Factory, I don't think, where you could mess around with the settings. You just go in Factory, spawn at barrels, and just, you know, have fun. Learn the map and whatnot. After I learned the map briefly on Factory, I went into Customs. And I remember it to this day. I had the AKS and the rig on, and I didn't want to lose it because I think I took a couple of pistols into Factory, and I learned pretty quickly you lose all your gear. So I was holding my AK, and I literally went, after killing one scav, all the way on the left side of the map. This was before the armored train, not the armored train, sorry, like the train side of the map, you know, to the left of gas station, you know, that woodsy area bit was open, so it was just basically gas station. I went all around the left side past the sniper scav hut. I think everything was dead. I kept hugging the wall. I was like, I think I bought like 2 bottles of water with me. I can't remember like the details, but I found the extraction, and it felt so good, like almost kind of like beating the game. You know, having that gear fear, and then comparing myself from then to now, 2 completely different games. To not knowing what the fuck you're doing, to, you know, knowing the spawns and where scav spawns and item spawns, and, you know, the economy in this game. He hasn't even touched on the economy. Like, I saw he made like a pretty funny comment saying like, I think it was mechanic needs toilet paper and soap for a gun or something. The economy in this game is phenomenal. And, you know, if Chappie has deterred you away from trying Tarkov, I might make this little series to try and help people see Tarkov in a little bit of a better light. Because I don't think it's a shit game. Sure, it needs improvements, but it's not a shit game. I wouldn't class this as a shit game, personally. But, you know, I've had years of experience in Tarkov, so you can say I'm biased. I'm just trying to be as straight as I can be. So yeah, until another 6 months, guys, until I make another video on something, I guess. Hope you enjoyed. Comment what you think, and I'll see you later, man.